Thank you, Toastmaster. Fellow members, we live in a materialistic world. Many people will tell you that the quality of life is in direct relationship with your personal wealth. The more money you have, the bigger house you can buy. The better job you have, the more things you can enjoy. So we seem to be on this never-ending journey of trying to make more money. But it's not that easy to make more money. Not everyone will win the lottery every day. It's a long journey. What about now? What if I want to increase the quality of my life now? What can I do? Do I have to be rich in order to have a good life? I didn't think so, but nor did I have the answer. Slowly, after trying different things, I found something in everyday life. It's called Everyday Design Matters. And I'll start with some simple examples. I like to watch TV. And recently, I watched this TV show called, the TV station is HGTV.
Oh, yeah.
What it does is it's about home improvement. It tells you everything you want to know about how to buy a house, how to improve your home. At first, I just watched it to enjoy the rich people's life. But slowly, I found there's some very interesting programs, like home improvement. One day, I watched about how to improve your kitchen. They had a designer walk into our kitchen, walking into this home, and said, "Oh, well, I look at your kitchen. The main function of kitchen is three things. You prepare food, you cook food, and then you store food. So the layout of the kitchen has to be surrounding these three functions. Now let's take a look at your design. You have refrigerator over here, and you have the stove right next to it, and then you have your sink over there. So in order to prepare, you have to take the food from the storage, walk all the way to the sink to wash it, and then go into the middle to cook it. So if you are doing kitchen work with your husband, you're bound to bump into each other. That's not logical. So we're going to separate them. We're going to put the refrigerator here, sink in the middle, and then the stove on the side." At that point, something clicked in my mind, that there is something in everyday life that we can understand and we can improve upon. And later on, I learned more things. Like in the living room, they would say, you've got to find a focal point, which is the best point in the living room. Like if you have a bright window, you have to arrange your furniture around it, not put the giant screen TV over here, no matter how good it is, because it's in conflict with your focal point. So, and from there, I just started to learn more and more about these everyday design things. And later on, after I see more things in everyday life, I learned that it not only applies to your living room, to your home, it applies to your work as well. I work as an IT consultant, and I deal with new technologies every day. Well, I assume all of you know how well designed the iPod is, right? You like it? Now, let's put that aside. Let's not even talk about the design of iPod. Let's talk about how Apple market their products. You may not notice that Apple computers announce their products twice a year. Once in January, once in August. And every time when they announce something new, the CEO of Apple Computers, Steve Jobs, will give a special press release, what they call a keynote presentation. And if you have seen PowerPoint presentations, those regular ones, those that make you fall asleep, you'll know that they focus on the PowerPoint rather than on you. Those presenters will say, "Oh, the next slide is, oh, that's pretty interesting. And the next slide is that," not knowing that most of the audience is already falling asleep. But when Steve Jobs, when he gave the presentation, that's the best presentation you'll see. First of all, he has a giant computer screen, like a movie screen, with nothing else on it other than the picture that he wants to illustrate. And he will talk to you as if he's talking to a friend. And then the picture is only a very minor supplement to what he's trying to sell you. And there's one example I remember vividly, was when he was introducing a tiny little remote control for the computer. Here's what he would say. Well, we did quite a bit of market research, and here's what's going on the market. Here's a pretty well-designed remote control with colorful buttons, nicely laid out, even curved to make it more ergonomic. So that's what's on the market. And then he would casually say, and then, well, this is what we come up with. And then in one slideshow, without saying a word, the audience sees the point. You can do everything that this one does in a tiny little device like this. And that's how he designed his marketing strategy. So it not only applies to home, but also to your work. In summary, I think everyday design is really important in everything you do. Whether it's the way you dress, whether it's the way you talk to people, or whether if it's the way you handle the situation. Doesn't matter, materialistic, non-materialistic. So if we can put some thought into everything we do, we can improve it little by little. Our quality of life will also increase. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my speech.
Later on, thank you very much, Allen Chen. You did a great job. I know that your friends here in Chinese Tea Time are very proud of you, as are your friends in Toastmasters. We're very proud of the great job you did, Allen. Later on, Allen will be receiving the benefit of an evaluation from the scheduled evaluator, who is Sarah Porterfield. But I hope some of you afterwards give Allen some suggestions. But one thing I think you saw, for example, is that great use of language, ergonomics, right? Good vocabulary word, nice use of props. He expressed himself not just by words, but by the visual, right? And I think you can just right away learn some things that you can use maybe in your presentation on Monday, or when you have to talk to your boss on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. So a great job on that, Allen. We thank you very, very much.